Shalom, my friends, this is Max Joseph, and I am here because I just saw Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Everything in my tone just now is exactly how I felt. Excitement and also... The Rise of Skywalker is directed by J.J. Abrams, and it stars Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, John Boyega, there's so many people, Oscar Isaac, Keri, Russel, loved her, Lupita Nyongo, Richard E. Grant, Kelly Marie Tran, Billy D. Williams, and of course, the final performance from the late, the great, Carrie Fisher. And the story goes like this. It's the last Star Wars film. It's the conclusion of the Skywalker saga. That's it. I mean, this is what we've all been waiting for. It's the end. Thanks for watching. Before I go into my review, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel and ding that little bell to get notified whenever I post new videos. My friends, I'm gonna say this right off the bat. I have no clue how I really feel about this film. I think that I have my initial thoughts, and those thoughts just kind of need to marinate. It needs to marinate a lot. It also needs a second watch before I can really have my full final opinion. But I'm gonna do my best to kind of just break down after just one watch. And there's a lot I liked, but there's also a lot I really didn't like. But what I will say before I go into the bullet points is that Star Wars it's just the best. Star Wars has given me, along with millions of other people, so many memories, so much happiness, and it's provided some of the best theater-going experiences I'll have in my lifetime. Personally, I grew up with the prequel trilogy. So I was 7 years old when Phantom Menace came out, and I have so many memories of lightsaber battles with my friends, trying to copy the choreography in that epic battle with Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul. I even tried to talk like Jar Jar Binks. And if you're close to my age and you want to tell me you didn't love Jar Jar Binks as a kid, I simply don't believe you. You can hate him now, but there's no way you didn't love him as a child. Anyway, Star Wars is the reason I'm such a sci-fi fantasy kind of person. I love the things that take you out of your everyday life and put you somewhere else. Without Star Wars, I have no clue where I would be. It is truly such a magical world, and it's a place for people to take a break out of their own lives and just escape for a little bit. So whether or not I like this movie, and truly I still don't really know, I just want to say thank you, Star Wars. I love you.
I know.
So all that being said, here are my bullet points for Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Bullet point number 1, the acting. I think that these 3 final films in the Skywalker saga contain the best acting of everything. Daisy Ridley is brilliant. Adam Driver is probably my favorite actor working today. John Boyega has comedic timing down to a science. Oscar Isaac is one of the best actors we have working. And even though I don't love the whole Canto Bite plotline in Last Jedi, I actually really like Kelly Marie Tran as an actor. I think she's great. But it's not just our new characters. It's everyone. Carrie Fisher is outstanding in all 3 of these films and hasn't missed a single beat. Harrison Ford is Han Solo, and Han Solo is Harrison Ford. And his performance in Force Awakens is exactly how I pictured an older Han Solo. And Mark Hamill, 100% gives his best performance as Luke Skywalker and probably of his career in The Last Jedi. I just can't get over how brilliant Ridley and Driver are. Regardless of the plot, I think they are perfection. Every line delivered, even if it was a cringeworthy line, it was excellent. Every moment between the two was tense and so well earned. Anytime they were together, I was a happy Star Wars fan. And I would say probably besides the visual effects, which I'm about to talk about, anytime they were together were the best moments of this film. Bullet point number 2, the visuals. Again, no matter what you thought of the film, I just don't see a world where someone says, yeah, but those visuals, nah. I'm sorry, that's just silly. These are the best visuals I've seen in a Star Wars film, by far. They are truly something to behold. I mean, you can see it in the trailers, how gorgeous it looked, and then seeing it on the big screen just amplified it by 1,000. Are the visual effects as good as the other big blockbuster film that came out in April? I don't know. You tell me. Let me know in the comments. Bullet point number 3. Carrie Fisher, aka General Leia, aka Forever in Our Hearts, Princess Leia. I think a lot of things, but I think they were put in a very, very tricky situation. They were forced to use unused footage from The Force Awakens, and I think that for the most part, it worked. And she was actually in a lot more of the film than I anticipated. And I think that it was also so important to have that be the case. Force Awakens was Han Solo. Last Jedi was Luke, and Rise of Skywalker was, I think, supposed to be Carrie Fisher. So, what they were given, I think everything that had Leia involved was done perfectly. I actually wouldn't really have changed any of it. I'm thrilled beyond word that they decided to use the old footage and not try and CGI her or, God forbid, poo-poo-poo recast. I think it would have ruined the movie, so bravo to making the story work with what you were given. Worked for me. Bullet point number 4. John Williams, thank you for everything. Through all 9 films, you are the constant. Never once was there a note out of place. Your scores are magical and perfection. Star Wars, it wouldn't be Star Wars without you. You've given the world some of the most iconic orchestrations to ever be written. So thank you for making 9 unique and unbelievable compositions for the world. Fun fact, John Williams was in this film. Let me know if you can find him on your next rewatch. He made a quick cameo. Bullet point number 5. Okay. So here are my problems. I think what J.J. Abrams did in Force Awakens is amazing. Rian Johnson said, nah, not into it. Let's do this. So then JJ said, joke's on you, this is how it's gonna go. So now, we have this mix of stories that they needed to somehow tie in a perfect bow. JJ likes to play with nostalgia, and he loves fan service, which of course, Rian Johnson did not care about in the slightest. Which is totally fine. And because of that, the film was kind of just everywhere. And I was like deep in it for the entire first half. The beginning, I turned to my friend. Jaw dropped. I loved this beginning. I've heard a lot of people say they hated it, but from the bat, besides the first sentence of the crawl, I was in it. I was really, really excited. But then, there were some big things that happened that just completely took me out of it. And they felt a little unjustified, unnecessary, and it kind of just came out of nowhere. They gave themselves so much that they had to resolve, and so much of it felt rushed. And I think somehow I have more questions now than I did after The Last Jedi, which I did not think was possible. They just threw in just so much. A lot of new information and characters. So much so that it was so hard to keep track of everything. And that's another reason why I have to give this a rewatch, so I understand who these characters are and what these new plot lines entail. I think you can't really get a good gauge on a Star Wars film until you watch it a few times. At least that's how I feel. Overall, J.J. Abrams was tasked with wrapping up 42 years of story into 141 minutes, and that's no easy task. I believe he gave it his all, without question. He poured his heart, his soul, everything into it. It was full of fan service, a lot of nostalgia, a lot of undoing from the previous film, going back to the way he wanted his story to be told, and I think that he did somehow manage to kind of, maybe, sort of, not really pull it off. I'm giving Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker 3.5 stars. But I don't think that's gonna stick. Like I said earlier, I think to get a better understanding of this film, and now that I know what I'm getting myself into, I have to see it again. I think I'll be able to better understand it, and maybe even have the possibility of appreciating it more. but there's also a chance I'm gonna go the opposite way. I have no clue. My friends, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like this video. Give me your thoughts on The Rise of Skywalker in the comments below. Be nice. Subscribe to this channel, as well as follow me on Twitter and Instagram at mjoseph492. Like my page on Facebook, which is facebook.com/MaxRosaFilmPerson. And if you really love me, please consider being a patron on Patreon, where you can get patron-only content, guest interviews, giveaways, and lots more. You can even give me a film to review or a song to cover, and that video will be dedicated to you. Shalom, my friends.